everyone. Welcome to the Horror Room. I'm Travis Bruce, and today we're doing another indie horror spotlight. I have with us today, he is the director, producer, and writer of a horror flick right now and streaming free on YouTube, as well as, and so YouTube Watch, let me explain that correctly, as well as Real Amazon. You can find it on VOD as well. It's called House of Rooms. I have with us today Alexander Fander. Alexander, how you doing, my friend?
I'm good. Thank you for having me. Awesome.
Thank you for
I'm very
coming
good.
to the
Yeah,
horror.
actually, yeah, thanks. All right.
So
What's
tell
your
us,
first question?
yeah. So tell us a little bit about House of Rooms.
Okay, House of Rooms. It's a horror film. It's 83 minutes long, and it's a story about a TV director who is creating reality horror show, and while they're producing the show, something bad happens. There's a killer inside the candidates. He sneaks inside, and then the slashing happens. People die. Bad things, and there's also some ghosts in that. It's a haunted mansion where they shoot that show. Everything goes wrong, and then it turns out to be there's a showdown. It boils together, and then there's a twisted ending. I don't want to give away. So you can watch it for free, as Travis said, on YouTube. There's a channel called Watch Movies. It's with ads, and then you can also get it on VOD on Amazon. Yeah, it's a fun horror flick. It's also some comedy inside, I guess.
It's definitely fun. Now it kind of reminds me a little bit of like House on Haunted Hill, as a little bit of aspects of like 13 Ghosts as well. Now, were there some of the movies that you got inspiration from, or were there other ones?
Absolutely, you just named them. I just wrote it down because the backstory about it. I wrote the original script 20 years ago, back in 2003, when in Germany, I think Big Brother came up a little bit. At that time it was quite famous, and there were films like House on the Haunted Hill, Saw, The Ring. So these films inspired me, and I thought, like, why don't mix it more with reality TV, and then you have this mashup, so the different genres and that subgenres and that thing, and then could be a fun movie to make. And then unfortunately, I couldn't make it at those time. Everything fell apart. It went to I shelved it, and yeah, 20 years later, actually my father told me he read the script. He found it somewhere on the shelf. Said, I read the script. It's not too bad. I'm like, yeah, I remember I wrote that script. Yeah, it's kind of a good thing. And I read it again. I'm like, yeah, it's not bad. Yeah, I couldn't do it then, but now technology changed. It's easier to make films. Why not? And then I got in contact with a friend. He was supposed to be here tonight, Anthony, and he's also a script writer and so he helped me to co-write it because it was originally written in German, and then I just did a rough translation, and then he and yeah, and we did it last November, a year ago. We shot it, edited, and was released this September, so not so long ago.
And I've had the privilege of watching the movie. Now, when it came to the actors and actresses, they did a great job of relating the fear in this movie. Now, when it came to selecting your cast, did you go with more of the general actors and actresses, or were these new? Because I mean, they did a great job.
Yeah, the casting was a very interesting process. Actually, the problem was a little bit we had to rush the whole production because one big aspect, as you know, when you shoot a indie low budget, no budget film, is location. I mean, where can you shoot it? Either you have a place like your own house or a friend's place, but if you don't have a place available, especially because we live in Berlin, and it's very difficult to get locations in Berlin. If so, you have to pay for it, and if you don't have a big budget, that's an issue. But I knew some people, and they had this kind of weird place where there was before it was a kind of a SM club, a kinky place, and they had all these cages and all that stuff. So it's like, wow, that could be a place if I could get in that place. So I called them and asked them, hey, yeah, you come take a look. We had music videos here and this and that. So there was a location tour, and then the lady said, yeah, I can give you probably in that time maybe 2.5 days, for that amount of rate. And because after that in December we're tearing the place down, So the lease was ending, and then the whole building is gone now by now, you know. So and I drove back home like, the place is so great, but I can never shoot the movies there in a 2.5 days, you know. It's impossible, you know. The script is too long, and so I was kind of like, that's it, give up, you know, like end of the story. But and then I thought like, no, wait a minute, you can't let that great place go. I mean, there's so much production value in it. So I thought about, what if I shoot with 2 units? Like I get a co-director, 2 units, we shoot at the same time, so we double the amount of days. And if we do it efficiently, we can do even more. So I called my friend, the script was nearly ready, you know, Anthony, and said, listen, I found the place, we can do it there. We're going to shoot with 2 units, and we're starting in 2 weeks. And he was like, Alex, you're insane. It's impossible. We'll never get the cast together, the props. I mean, there's no chance to do it in 2 weeks. I said, yeah, but if we don't do it in these 2 weeks, the chance is gone. We won't get that place anymore. And then you know how it is. Then time goes by, and then probably never makes a movie. So yeah, we had to rush the casting. And the issue is in Berlin. I mean, there are a lot of people speak good English, but you don't have access to so many actors who are good in English. So it kind of narrowed down to the actors who are good in acting, speak good English, because it's an international movie. Because that's what the guy from Watch Movies said. If you do a horror, shoot in English. Otherwise, I can't distribute it, you know, show it. Yeah, and yeah, so we did an audition, and it was like some channels. Like there's a place in Germany, it's called Crew United, like a website. People can apply for gigs, and just put some ads on Facebook. People came through Facebook, and yeah, and then I didn't have time to, you know, meet people, so I just said, send me an casting tape, like a video, and then we sat together, we choose the best ones, and then told them, you're in, let's go.
Yeah, you see my channel. I've said many times. Like a lot of my subscribers are actually from Germany, which I'm shocked. I'm like, okay.
Oh, yeah.
And I've interviewed on several German filmmakers. And I never realized that horror is so big in Germany.
Oh, it is, yeah, it is, yeah. And it's starting to be also very. I mean, even there are a lot of big productions now who are doing this genre. You know, like on Netflix, and even the public broadcasters are now trying things out. I mean, 20 years ago, when I wanted to do that, it wasn't very, you know, there was no chance to finance it or do it. So that's why I got rejected from everybody. I pitched it to a couple of production companies that are like, oh, horror, no. We do comedies, we do crime, kids movies, game over, that's it. But the landscape completely changed. So there are a couple of people who are doing great stuff here, and a lot of also indie films, you know, so yeah, it's quite popular.
And streaming services has definitely made it easier for filmmakers, indie filmmakers in this country, in the States. But I'm also seeing, you know, speaking to indie filmmakers from all across the world, that it has done tremendous for indie filmmakers, let's say in Germany, because now there's a way, you have a way for people all across the world to see your films. I mean, streaming services been a positive in that nature.
Yeah, I mean, the landscape, as we know, changed crazy over the last years. I mean, still it's difficult to make a living of it. Some people are luckier, others not that. But I mean, you have access to it. I mean, I remember when I did my first short film 20 years ago, I was writing a script on a computer and printing it, and you know, I was going to the post office and sending it to the actor. Like, he got the script and he came in. You know, we shot on a Betacam with these huge tapes. I mean, it's a different time now. It's that's why there's also a lot of output. I mean, very good output, but a lot of films, because people are able to do films. You know, as you know.
Yeah. Now, so what is the two biggest struggles I hear from any horror filmmaker is A, finances, budget.
Yeah.
And the second one is, so you have the project made, how do you get eyes on it?
Absolutely. And I don't have an answer for that. That's the biggest problem, I think. Financing is one thing, but let's say somehow you find some, you make a film, so you have a product, yeah. You're able to do it somehow, but then how you get eyes on it, you know, I'm struggling with that. A lot of filmmakers are struggling. I mean, what I achieved now, it's on Amazon. It's to get into all these, these venues, to say so, is also an issue. And but how can you really get eyes on it? How you get the press on it? I mean, we had some press reviews. We didn't really do the festival circus because I wanted to go straighter to the streaming. I mean, our distribution plan was go to Watch Movies Now, because that's why I did the movie, because the guy said, well, I have 1.2 million subscribers. You can go there, play the film, and you get some ad money. So I said, yeah, could be maybe enough to, break even. Let's see.
And that's one thing great about YouTube also. Like I think YouTube is going to be the next big medium. I mean, worldwide, because I mean,
Yeah,
a free form that people can come on and watch whatever they want to watch. And also now with the YouTube Watch, you can now watch actual movies for free. Yes, you do have to sit through the ads, but but like you can't beat it. It definitely has
no,
like YouTube eventually is going to take over TV.
absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I have no Netflix. I have Disney and also Prime, and it adds up. And then some people have more and more. So for sure, there are some people who say at some point, I had enough Netflix. I don't want to pay for that anymore. So there are good movies on YouTube. Why not go there? And we have 8 billion people on the planet. I don't know how many billion people have access to the internet. So sooner or later, more and more will watch, and then you will have a chance to make some cut on the ad money. So yeah, I think it's a great chance for indie filmmakers, and yeah, I'm part of the journey.
Have you noticed any have you noticed you're getting a lot of traction from the United States when it comes to watching your movie?
Well, I don't know the numbers because I haven't really talked too much with the distributor at the moment because I was busy with other stuff. I finished the film. We did our first PR round, and then unfortunately that's the nature of it. Things cool off, and then your real life kicks in again. And today I started a new job, which came through a neighbor. It's funny. I'm giving a video class for long-term unemployed people, and I was there first day, and I'm trying to motivate to do some things. But after 3 hours, kind of got into the hearts and minds. And tomorrow we're doing a test shoot, and so that's where I make some extra money at the moment. Try to save a little bit for the next project, maybe. So hustling. Yeah.
Now, without giving anyway anything, there is an interesting ending to your movie. Did you, when you made this movie, did you, in your mind, plan on a possible sequel?
Absolutely, yeah. I have one in mind, two in mind actually. One is a little bit more complicated, and I have a more simplified version. And I looked already at a location, and again, location for me as an indie filmmaker is key. And the problem was it's a Berlin underground. Under the city we have a lot of catacombs and tunnels and former bunkers dating back to World War II, and I thought like that would be amazing to shoot there. But unfortunately, they're not allowing productions there. They're just showing it to some tourists and making money with tours. But probably they'll find another place. As soon as I have a location, I'm going to write the next script. It will be a little bit, if I can give it away, a little bit Squid Game-ish.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
Now, the problem with a sequel is it's kind of hard for most filmmakers. It's kind of hard to outshine the first one.
Yeah.
And the sequel is usually not as, it has a bigger production, but it's usually not as good as the first one. Is that something that you're afraid of?
Well, the big question is, will it be a sequel? I mean, will House of Rooms then be a series, like Saw or something, like a franchise? Or will I say, maybe the title didn't really work in the end? That's something I have to think about and like come up with a new title, and it's just a separate single standing movie, Because Anthony, the co-writer who's not here, he hates the title. I mean, I thought it's genius, but you never know. So we'll see. And yeah, how to beat the first one? Well, make it better.
Yeah.
You always try. I have ideas. I think there should be more gore in it, more blood, more action. But that's production value. Difficult to produce. Need time for it. I mean, we had for this we had in total 12 or 13 shooting days, and only 2.5 for that special location. So really had to rush it and maximize it. And then everything in the safe room, it's 21 script pages, and we shot it in one weekend. I mean, I never shot so fast. Everybody was so confused, and I was working like a machine and told, now this scene, there's a script continuity guy, he completely lost it. He's like, okay, just tell me what I should put on the clapper. I'm like, this number, and if not, doesn't matter, I will edit it. Boom, 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 boom. But otherwise, we couldn't get through, like money's running out, the time is running out, and then, you have that weekend, you got to get it into the can, so yeah. I would prefer next time a little bit more time, like more and more of everything, hopefully.
Now, like most indie filmmakers, you wear multiple hats, and that's not something that big budget filmmakers don't have to worry about. You're the director, the producer, the writer, and you're also editing. Is that a lot to do? I mean, is that stressful?
Yeah, it was stressful. Especially, there was one point where it was really tight, because the problem was I don't even have a production office, so I'm doing it at home in my living room productions. And after a long day shoot, and you come home, let's say 10, 11 or something, really late, you eat a little bit, you get ready to bed, prepare for the next day, and then you have to get up early to shoot the next day. But then you have the footage, and you have to save the footage, on your computer. And then there are clips, and there was some situation where I had to wake up 3 times in the night, save the footage, do backups with an alarm, and you barely don't sleep, and then you go back to the set next day. It was,
Yeah.
And that's tough. That's tough. I mean, if you have to do it too long. That's what we did. What saved us was that we had to shoot mostly on weekends or a long weekend, because the camera guy, the DOP, he had jobs during the week as a photographer, and also he's doing real estate photography as a main job, and also models. And so there were sometimes 3 or 4 days in between where I could reorganize, because while I only had that one location, the first one, the big one, and I had to find all the other ones during the shooting process. So it was a lot of stress to find it in between.
Now, so you actually brought something up earlier that is, to be a German filmmaker, you can't. I'm not saying you can't do it, but it's best to film your movies in English. Now, when it comes to Korean movies, they film their movies in Korean, and Americans and the rest of the world still enjoy it. Why is it that way in Germany?
Can you rephrase or say the question again? Like, is it?
Okay. It's you were bringing up earlier, like when it came to YouTube, the emphasis was on your movie has to be in English.
Yes.
And as a German filmmaker, is that tough? Especially like there's other regions of the country where they film their movie in their language, and the rest of the world reads the subtitles. But I've noticed when it comes to like German films and German filmmakers, there's an emphasis on filming your movie in English. Is that tough to do?
Well, it is tough to do in terms of that you can get enough cast, who speak native speakers. I mean, I know some, and also for the writing. So it's not my native language, so I'm not as good as writing in German. So sometimes I write in German, then translate, or have someone else help me write the scene. So, well, that's kind of tough. But also, I mean, I could also decide to shoot in German and then just use subtitles, because there are examples where it worked. Some Netflix movies, but I think they always had they dubbed it also in English, right, on Netflix. So
yeah,
they did it, huh? So then you can switch and watch it in English. So, well, that's something I thought about for my next. I mean, I have 2 possibilities. One could be another horror, if that works. But then I also have another film, and I thought about the other film I have to shoot in German, because it's a very German topic, a biopic, Wolf of Wall Street, German thing, back in the 70s, and I have to shoot it in German, but I probably will try to do a dubbed version in English also, so then I can get to the international market. It's about marketing.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the best, foreign films I've watched is Train to Busan, which was a Korean.
Oh yeah.
Like,
yeah.
and I didn't mind watching. I didn't mind reading the subtitle. I didn't mind. I didn't even hit the dub because I felt like the dub was gonna take away from the effect. But like Americans, we don't actually mind now in 2023. We don't mind subtitles.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, probably. I think the best is you have everything. If you're good enough, if you can deliver the original version with subtitles or a dub one and subtitles, then people can choose, like on Netflix. I think that would be the best. But yeah, maybe next film should be in German. Who knows?
I'll watch it.
Okay.
All right. So as you know, this is a horror channel. So I'm gonna do something that I do with a lot of my interviews. I'm gonna ask you three random horror questions. Are you ready?
Yeah. I don't know if I'm ready, but I will try. Okay.
What horror director would you say you got most majority of your inspiration from? You enjoyed their movies, and you were like, when you became a horror filmmaker, you were like, you know what? I kind of want to craft my projects something like what they do.
Ooh, can I give you two? Because
Sure.
okay, one is Eli Roth with fuck, what's the name of the movie again? Where the people are killed, the tourists. Help me out. Hostel, exactly. Hostel. I think he did a great job with that, and so that kind of I wanted to go a little bit in that direction, and I'm a little way off. You know, it's a long way to get there, but I think that inspired me. His filmmaking, the brutality and the pictures, the gore, and was strong when I watched it back then. And then the other thing is, I mean, I'm always a huge fan of Stanley Kubrick, The Shining, you know, and also all his other films. You know, I think he nailed down everything in different genres. He has such a special style. If there's any chance, I mean, what I tried was a movie that I did before. It's a movie about fraternities, and I tried to make my film a little bit visually like Barry Lyndon, you know, like with this huge images, a little bit history, and yeah, I'm a huge Stanley Kubrick fan.
Awesome. Those are two. I'm a huge Stanley Cooper and Eli Roth fan. I love Hostel.
Yeah.
Hostel is definitely up there. Okay. The second one, if you could make a movie off of any iconic horror character, I'm gonna say I'm gonna say the word reboot, which most people hate.
Yeah.
Would it be?
Well, obviously, if you've seen the ghost girl in my film, it's Samara from The Ring.
Yes.
So I would have wanted more of these elements in House of Rooms, but that's actually played by my daughter. She came in for an hour. It was green screen, and then her focus was gone, so she went home.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, Samara really scared the shit out of me.
Terrifying character. I remember seeing it in the That's a good one. All right, and here's the last question. All right, if what's one thing with House of Rooms? If somebody would give you, let's say, $100,000 more towards the budget, what's one thing that you would add it to that movie?
I think more production time, more action, more gore, and I will definitely would try to pay some of the people some wages, you know, like because people work so hard on these films, and at the end of nobody gets anything, you know, and you know it's very difficult to break even, get money back. So better production value, more shooting time, and also wait a second, some money for the press and you know public relations. That's very important, you know, because as we know, some people they need to be paid.
Yes. I was about to say, even for an indie filmmaker, marketing is huge. You know, just
Yeah,
a way to get your name out there. You know, that's why I created this platform.
yeah. Thank you for having me. It's a great opportunity, and I'm really happy because that's the first interview I give about. I mean, we had some small reviews and some reports, but nothing as deep as this. So that's really great. Thank you, Travis.
No problem. So, Alexander, where can everyone find you on social media?
Social media, you can find me on Facebook with my name, Alexander Fender. I'm also on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. Just type in my name, you'll find me. You can Google me, IMDb. Yeah, that's. And then I have a website, Alex Fender Writer. Let's put it under the later link. I'll send you and then you put it under the video. Yeah.
Yes, description.
Yeah. Okay, in the description. Yeah.
Everybody, please go out and check out House of Rooms. It's on Amazon, Reel, YouTube. I mean, it's on VOD. It's all over the place. Check it out. It's a great time.
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, and if you can, give us some ratings. 5 stars, 1 star, it doesn't matter. Give us ratings, comment, because it helps in the algorithm to go up and people
I
to see.
need to go back and do that. Yes.
Yeah, awesome.
Alexander, it's been an absolute pleasure, man. I would love to have you on anytime to promote any of your.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Travis. It was a great time.
But everyone, thank you for coming. Everyone, thank you for coming to the Horror Room. I'm Travis Bruce. I'll see you guys next time. Take care.